Welcome to Fournier Business Strategies, your source for transformational growth. I focus on organizational quality, human resources, and profitability. I understand that each employee is wired differently. I also understand that employees internalize and act on information differently. Consider the possibilities and transform your thinking. Hello and welcome to Fournier Strategies. I'm Paul Fournier. My topic today is people learning to communicate. Poor communication contributes to much of the business and society's challenges. The vast majority of employees, they want to get along, and the vast majority of managers want to get along. Everyone wants a great career, fair compensation, and to provide a secure environment for their family. Employees want to know what's expected and will generally work to achieve their company's expectations. You know, employees don't get up in the morning and say, I'm going to be a real pain in the neck today. Most managers hope their day will be successful with limited challenges. In my view, there's an enormous communication disconnect between management and employees. And to go a little further, there's an enormous communication disconnect between all the world's people. I think the source of this disconnect is how people receive, interpret, and act on information based on how they obtained it. And over time, I've found it to be incredibly accurate. Consider this. Visual learners need to read, observe, to learn and retain information. Visual learners make their decisions based on what they've observed or read. They are generally high detail. Audio learners need to hear information to best learn and retain information. Audio learners make their decisions based on what they've heard. They are lower detail, in some cases. Kinesthetic learners need to touch, feel, and experience information to best learn and retain information. Kinesthetic learners make their decisions based on what they've experienced. And from what I've learned, most dislike detail. Now, like anything else, there are exceptions to what I call hybrids. They can learn from any media source. There's no right or wrong in how we learn. It's simply how we are wired as a species. Again, in my view, the population of all ages, genders, and races is generally divided a third for visual learners, a third for audio learners, and a third for kinesthetic learners. An example of this is how audio and kinesthetic learners are sometimes challenged in schools and they're testing for knowledge. K through 12 and colleges are set up for visual learners. And my experience has been if one is highly visual, they generally do well in school testing. So if a visual learner is communicating to the audio and kinesthetic learners with high detail, the audio and kinesthetic learners are only receiving and understanding and executing part of that message. The audio and kinesthetic learners only get a portion of the message, so they make their decision based on their retained information. Sometimes it's right, and sometimes it's wrong. The visual learner becomes angry when nothing happens. The audio and kinesthetic learners become angry when they thought they did everything right. The conflict between visual, audio, and kinesthetic learners is everywhere on this planet. 2/3 of the population communicates differently than you. If you want that other 100%, one must go the extra mile and not depend solely on email or text for understanding. Could it really be this simple? Well, I think it could be. And if I'm only half correct, that's an enormous improvement. And that's where leadership begins. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate my content, please consider becoming a Premier subscriber at fournierstrategies.com.